Mr. Speaker, I come with a humble message from the Puerto Rican people to the House of Representatives. Free Puerto Rico. Free Puerto Rico so that she can solve the problem of her crushing debt without being handcuffed by Congress. Free Puerto Rico so that her hospitals can stay open for sick moms and dads and her schools stay open for children. Nobody should fear that their house will burn down because the firemen have not been paid. So far, the response to Puerto Rico's debt crisis from Washington, the only place that Puerto Rico is forced to rely on, has been very little. And greedy bondholders and hedge fund managers only care about Puerto Rico as a wager, a way to make money whether Puerto Rico sinks or swims. Right now, Puerto Rico needs serious, sustained attention from Washington to find a path forward such that Puerto Rico is neither absolved of her obligation nor mortally wounded by them. Because, Mr. Speaker, here is what it comes down to. When the U.S. Supreme Court said that Puerto Rico belongs to, but is not a part of, the United States, the responsibility to care for her and her people came along with that judgment. Congress must act responsibly for the fact that we expect Puerto Rico to pay its obligation, but we force her to play by a particular set of rules. Puerto Rico cannot declare bankruptcy because Congress passed a law saying that she could not. Puerto Rico is under the chokehold of the Jones Act, a law passed right here in this room without any consultation with the Puerto Rican people that says, by law, Puerto Rico cannot shop around for the best deal on shipping. No, they must buy the most expensive, which means double the import cost and an estimated $500 million extra on Puerto Rico's food bill alone. Oh, and when it comes to producing for themselves, a large chunk of the best agricultural land, the land that sustains and feeds a nation, the land is taken away from them for U.S. military bases. 13% of the land gone. Puerto Rico is a tropical island, but a lot of its fruit and vegetables and almost all of its food is imported. We must allow Puerto Rico to create an agricultural economy, allowing Puerto Ricans to feed themselves. The economy produces goods the people do not consume, and the people consume goods that they do not produce. Even when the U.S. is caught red-handed stealing water from Puerto Rico's fresh water supply, not paying a dime for it, what happens? The U.S. government is not held responsible or made to pay. When the military bombs and pollutes Vieques and Culebra, does the U.S. government feel any obligation to restore it? Not really. So, Mr. Speaker, when Congress talks about Puerto Rico's debt, I say we look at the totality of the debt. The part owed to Puerto Rico, not just the part Puerto Rico owes to Wall Street. Every soldier she has sent to war, every time the U.S. has stepped in to override her courts and her government, these debts add up but are not accounted for. And now, what is the solution that everyone in Washington is lining up behind? A federal control board. Imagine that. An island that cannot determine its own destiny, that has to play an economic game with a stacked deck and all the rules rigged against her. What is the solution in Washington? Take away what little autonomy they have left. If Congress were smart, we would find a way to get out of the way. Free Puerto Rico's people to unleash their inherent hard-working character, spirit, and dedication. Free Puerto Ricans to work and toil and build and create. Free Puerto Rico so that she can build a sustainable economy that keeps her people at home in the land of their birth and their heritage. And we cannot get sidetracked by seeing Puerto Rico's economic health exclusively through the lens of food stamps and Medicaid and government programs and further dependency on Washington. We must make the conversation about jobs for Puerto Ricans, jobs that build the economy and the tax base and the self-sufficiency of the island. Mr. Speaker, Puerto Rico's problems were a long time in the making, but I have utter confidence in Puerto Ricans' ability to solve them if we in the Congress begin to listen to them, work with them, and recognize them as equal partners. We must free Puerto Rico so that the Puerto Rican people can free themselves.